Time to load up. I'm gonna guess 2 trees should do it. It's been an hour and a half. Not 2 hours, but that should be plenty. Trying to think how I'm gonna do this. I don't want them laying in the sun, but I can just put them in the shade when I'm digging one hole. And I think I will do, I don't know, maybe 3 at a time. There's a dozen, so make a few trips back here. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just do 4 and make 3 trips. So I'm gonna put 4 of them back in the bag and then take the bag with me. Okay, that's the plan. These 2 were the last ones in, so I'll come back and get them on the last trip. Oh wait, yeah, I'll just do the 4. last two. And I believe one of them is the biggest. It's been 9 hours on this stuff so far. Got to get her done. Okay, this is the second from last hole. These were not prepared last year like I did with all the others, so it's pretty much how you would have it if you did this yourself. So what you really need is a hole about the size of the root in diameter and in depth. And these have varied so widely. I originally dug the holes thinking that I was getting 6-foot trees, and that was not the case. See, this will work fine. So this one, I won't add anything to the bottom. I'm just going to start filling it. But what you got to do is put something across the holes so you can have a level, so you can gauge ground level. And you want the very topmost root, this one right here. This is called, well, it's called the root flare where they first start. But on this type of tree, it's just got itty bitty ones up there, and they're kind of widely spaced. But you just go right to the very top one, and you can go a hair above it. This actually has a nice line where it was in the soil at the nursery, so I can just shoot right for that line. So what you want to do is get your straight edge across the hole and then hang this in the hole right level with the top of the ground, and then start filling in around the roots. First I gotta blend this soil, dice it up a little bit. This hole did not have gypsum added to it last year, so it's very clayey. Okay, now I'm going to drop the tree down in the hole and start filling around it. try to get fine enough soil around the roots so they get completely covered. Getting close. This is my top, which should be flush with ground level. Because I'm planting on a hill, I don't use the level up and down the hill. I use across the hill there. You don't want to go much more than this topmost root. This right here, this top root is where the root begins. Above it is the basal bark, and you don't want to bury the basal bark. I believe the tree breathes through the basal bark to some extent. I know you can kill a tree by burying too much of it, and some of the herbicides, there is a basal bark herbicide that excuse me, that you spray on the bottom part of a tree and it will kill it. So I'm guessing that you smother the tree if you go too deep. We've had trees in the woods that are buried 2-3 feet on one side, but the other side is open in places where you make a road and you cut on the high side, and if there's a tree in the way, that's what happens. And they live through it, so I wouldn't be too afraid of it, but still best to just plant it right over that topmost, that's called the flare, the root flare on. I don't know if they would even call it a flare on a tree like this, because it's just the one little guy at the top there. Okay, now lightly press it in. Sometimes I use a stick. I had a stick earlier and somehow I lost it. Probably fell out of the gator. Hopefully you can hear me. Now I'm going to add more dirt to get back up to that line, which is right there. If you were following this entire extended version of this is tree number 11 of 12. And if you followed the whole thing, you may have noticed that I skipped watering a couple of them, and I think I missed adding fertilizer or amendments or something like that on a few, I had to go back and do that stuff, so it all got done. If you haven't seen the extended version, it's well, what time is it? It's nearly 10 hours worth of work in time lapse. The thing with bare root trees is they ship them when it's time to plant them in your area, and you don't have a whole hell of a lot of control as to when they get here. And these just happened to get here on the last sunny day for a long time. It's going to be raining. Well, tomorrow we have a blizzard coming. There's a blizzard warning right now. We have sustained 35 mile an hour winds with what the heck is it now? 4 to 9 inches of snow coming tomorrow. So I want to get these in before I have to wait a week or two for another day. Once these things start budding, you know, you want them in the ground when they start budding. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of water and do the last one. And lastly, I gotta stake these because we're in a high wind area, so get that done real quick. Okay, this is the last one. Hopefully, I don't have to do too much filling. This looks like the biggest one here. Let's see what she looks like. Oh, not really. Looks about the same as all the other ones. This is the weirdest bark on these trees. I mean, that's just insane. There's a spider there. These came from Michigan. Hopefully it's not some crazy ass Michigan spider. So this hole needs, well, a good 8 inches of dirt in it. I want it up to this bottom root. Kind of sucks that they cut off the tap root like that, but it should recuperate. Alright, let's get this hole filled. Okay, that wraps it up. 1 dozen bare root bur oak trees, 4 to 5 foot in one day. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I just flipped the sod and put it around for the berm, the water berm, and everything we have is on a hill, so you only put it on the downhill side, and then that'll catch some water. Otherwise, the water will just go right past this and it'll never get watered. This is from Splash. This is at the right height. The top root is right there. Okay, looking good. Well, if you want to see these babies grow this summer, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click on the update icon, and a like would be great as well. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.